What's a red flag when looking for a job?
Making jokes about overtime and crunch time. Guaranteed it's going to be a nights and weekends are optional, but not actually optional, place.
Couple of things. Open interviews. Admittedly, I've fallen for this a few times, but I was young and stupid. It's clear they have a high turnover, so they're trying to secure as many people as they can. Most of the time these open interview jobs don't have salaries, just commission. Refusal or reluctancy to share details over the phone. This is what usually ends up in you turning up to an open interview. If they withhold information about the role, what you'll be doing, etc., that's a huge red flag. They just want to get you in the door for an interview to pressure you into joining.
Initially unpaid, but will result in full-time offer upon completion of XYZ.
Earning potential is stressed over current salary.
If the job description has about 20 items of which one is sales, your job is going to be sales.
This was a red flag I had during an interview process once. I was doing a phone interview for an IT position, and the person I was interviewing with basically changed the details of the job during the interview. Instead of the first shift hours the position promised, he immediately went into saying it would be 6+ months before the opportunity for first shift would even be possibility. Also, he was big into asking how dedicated I was to jobs. The idea of weekend shifts, again, not in the original description, kept coming up, and how everyone had to be a team player and help out on weekends when needed. The kicker was when he started talking about how many hours he worked. He was bragging that he was up at 6 a.m. every day working. Then he'd go into the office for the day, come home to see his family for dinner, and get right back to work until 10 to 11 p.m. every night. I had never been turned off from a job faster in my life. He asked me to think things over, and he'd send me some paperwork via email. Needless to say, I called him the next morning and declined the job. It was the worst interview process I'd ever been in.
Manager who doesn't really interview you, or who doesn't take the interview seriously. They are on their phone the whole time, don't ask any questions, are too casual.
Hiring lots of people on the same position. Everyone who calls gets a job. Often means the job is either bullshit or they're setting you all up to compete for the actual job.
When they shit-talk previous employees, they're going to do it to you.
If you ask them what the pay is and they start off with what you could be making after so much time, and they start rambling about the raise process, run the other way. High staff turnover. Looking for rock stars in the job description. Unless of course the posting is in fact for a position to be a rock star. An employer who treats you like they are doing you a favor. With good servant leadership, it should be the other way around. An unclear job description, or a job description that includes too many duties. Not being offered the opportunity to see the working areas or talk to people who would be your peers. Just generally trying to feel out whether or not they have things under control or not. I don't want to walk into a shit show. Always ask them why the person you are replacing left the job. The way they answer this could be a red flag. When they say you could be earning 6 figures in less than a year. We work hard and play hard, it actually means all work and for sure no play. We are a family here, which means this is how they try to make up for the shitty pay and long hours. I got a call from a Subway I applied to telling me my interview was in 10 minutes. That was the first I heard from them after submitting my application. A former coworker shared this tidbit with me years ago, and it works wonders. Try to schedule your in-person interview as late in the afternoon as possible. Relevant to your position. If you're expecting a 9 to 5 job, schedule your interview for 4 o'clock or 4:30. You probably discussed after-hours work etc. during the interview. When you are done, you should be able to look around. Are people still working? Is the parking lot empty? You can match up the evidence with what was claimed during the interview, and from that, Judge how realistic the entire job description is based on how they treated the after-hours work. Master's degree preferred for an entry-level job.